Hi everybody, in this video we're going to go over the mounts that come in the box with both the Garmin VIRB as well as the Garmin VIRB Elite. First thing I want to do here is take some inventory and go over what all of these parts are called, then we'll get into how they work and what they do. So starting up here in the corner, this is your short link, this is the right angle link, this is the adapter to popular industry mounts, removable flange base, threaded collar, cradle. Down here you have 3 knobs, those are all identical, and in the other corner 2 adhesive bases. The one on the right is for curved surfaces, the one on the left is for flat surfaces. So mounting your VIRB, you want to start with the cradle. You can now take your VIRB or your VIRB Elite. The cradle has one end down there at the bottom is a little bit more narrow than it is at the top, and that's going to line up with a notch there on the bottom of the VIRB just below the D-ring of the battery cover. So the narrow end of the cradle fits in there, and at the other end you have 2 buttons there on the side. You can push those together, push down on the VIRB at the same time, and that'll just snap into place securely in the cradle. Now we have a hole there on the bottom of the cradle, and the way that this works is these mounting components up here attach through that hole with the threaded knobs. So I'm going to start with the removable flange base and the threaded collar. And that fits one over the top of the other, so it'll look like that with that threaded collar just resting on the bottom. And I can take this and attach it to one of the adhesive bases, which is threaded as well. So I can fit that threaded collar over the top and get that tightened up a little bit. You can rotate that flange a little bit while it's in there. So I want to make sure it's centered, and then I can tighten it back up again and start attaching it to the cradle. So the bottom of the cradle is very thin, that part right there, and that's going to fit right in between the middle of that adapter. So that will just easily snap into place. You can see right through the middle that hole down there, and that'll tell you that those parts are lined up. And now you can take one of the knobs and insert that in and tighten it up. Now there's 2 sides to where those parts meet up. One has that gold thread kind of sticking out there. The other side has a recessed hole. It's in there, but it's farther down towards the center. And that recessed hole is where you want to insert the knob. So that fits in there, and you can go ahead and get that tightened up. So what we have here is a very basic mount for the VIRB. We have our adhesive mount on the bottom. You have that little joint there in the middle and then the camera on top. So what you can do is loosen that up and you can make adjustments to it. Now this just gives us one plane of motion. We can really only rotate the camera up and down. And what we can do if we want to is add in some more of these components, some more of these knobs, and get some more joints in there. This is the adapter to popular industry mounts. I'm going to put this off to the side for a few minutes, and we're just going to worry about the short link and the right angle link for right now. So I want to add another one of these in. I am going to remove the knob that I inserted in there. And now what I can do, I can add in the short link if I want, and that'll just extend it up a little bit higher. Or I can use the other one, the right angle link, and in addition to raising it up, it's going to now turn the camera 90 degrees, hence the right angle link. Same as before, I can check there, make sure that I can see through the hole in the middle that everything is lined up. So there's the one on the bottom, there is the one just underneath the cradle, and I can take 2 of the knobs, get those in there, and get them tightened up. Now before, you will remember I had only one plane of motion. I could only tilt that forward and back. Now I have 2 planes of motion, so I can do forward and back just as I could before, but with that added knob down there, I can also move it from side to side. So forward, back, and side to side, and I can really customize exactly how I have it positioned and just tighten up the knobs when I'm done, when I am happy with it. And we still have the short link left. We still have another knob left. So you can add these in if you want. You can arrange them in different combinations. It's really up to you. You can customize how you put these parts together and be as creative as you want with them. Now, one thing I do want to show you about the cradle that the VIRB is sitting in. There are a lot of cameras and a lot of mounts out there where in order to remove the camera from the mount, you basically have to disassemble the mount. So if you have your shot set up, if you have a good angle that you like, but you need to insert a micro SD card into the camera or remove one, you have to take apart the mount. The VIRB is designed differently. The mount has a good design to it, where if you have it all set up, it's mounted on the dashboard of your motorcycle, and you realize you need to get under the battery cover, all you need to do is press those two buttons together on top. You can remove the camera, do what you need to, and put it back in place without disrupting the mount at all. So a very good design to that. Let's take a look at that popular industry adapter mount. This is the one I just put off to the side a moment or two ago. Like all of the other adapters I've shown you in this video, you can attach this directly to the bottom of the VIRB cradle and use the one of the knobs to secure it in place. The bottom end of it, though, is designed to be compatible with some mounts that are found on some other popular cameras, like this one I have right here. So if you have a camera like this one, you can use the mounts that you have for this camera. So you can pull the knob out the side here, and you can detach whatever base you have for it, and then get that onto the VIRB cradle, tighten it up with the knob, and then I can attach it to this mount that I just removed from that camera. Use the knob that I just removed from that camera. That goes through there. And get that tightened up. So you have a lot of different options for a lot of different cameras, and there's a lot of cool things that you can do with it. This is just one example. You can, of course, use it with all of the other adapters I've shown you in this video and put it together exactly as you please. So that's a quick look at the mounts that come in the box with the Garmin VIRB.